All right, this next poem is called Fort Campbell, Kentucky, on the 10th anniversary of my father's death. Call it one more in a series of signs. This mangled guardrail hunched over in a ditch lining the off-ramp that leads back to my valley paterfamilias. I don't give a damn what the clouds don't say when I glance up from the highway to find my childhood mutt dozing in a thunderhead. Dog with its throat ripped out by a neighbor's chow the summer I learned to shoot a .22 a week too late to save it. My father is not Zeus reaching down with lightning in his fingertips, but the night I drove away from here, a bolt thick as my forearm struck my car and blew a tire to melted shreds, the rim spitting sparks as my Pontiac dragged to a halt. Back then, I scraped the ground for metaphor even more than I do now, watching a formation of Chinooks wobble through a storm like off-kilter tops, washed clean of a year's worth of sand I'd gladly pluck from the roadside grit to fill an hourglass with, if it meant I could keep myth alive long enough to forget it. Myth of my father whose flat feet kept him out of Vietnam. Myth of my high school buddies who left for boot camp after graduation, while I stayed behind to read books about war and learn how to boil the history of killing down to a 1,000-word essay. The word bayonet is French. The Monitor sank the Merrimack. It was called the War of Northern Aggression. I stuck to the facts, which now seem just as useless as reading the wind's invisible palm for signs of another tornado no amount of prayer can hold off from toppling the Baptist church again. A pile of stained glass glittered like costume jewelry tossed down from heaven, as if ridding that place of its cheap adornments could make it any more real, any less like a gated community for the scared straight and blameless naysayers of all other fables that gave birth to a carpenter's son long before Mary squatted in a Bethlehem straw pile. Bethlehem, namesake of my grade school where kids still tie yellow ribbons tighter than tourniquets along the playground's chain link fence. This is what prayer looks like in a military town, coupled with flags no one takes down until half the stars have shredded into comets and blown away in a breeze. And if I came here to reconcile with that breeze, it hasn't happened. I've only found another road ending in a field beside a river that won't carry me to some watery and distant ledge where I might understand how things end or how they begin again. The black amniotic fluid of space spreads its testament above my car as I drive through a town populated by trees and mute stones, a silence in the absence of suns.